Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to UV unwrap. UV unwrap is a creation of a UV map, and a UV map is actually a flat representation of the 3D model. So it's taking your 3D model and making it flat so that we can use it for texturing. Let's get started. Click your model, go to UV, and click UV editor. Now what you're going to see is a box with a horizontal red line at the bottom left and a vertical red line. This box right here is where you want your UVs to be contained. The other ones are just for organization if you'll remove your UVs there later and then put them back together in here. But right here is usually always where you want your UVs to be. There are some exceptions, but I'll cover that towards the end of the tutorial. So to get started, we're going to want to do automatic UV. Go up here and click automatic. This will give you random UV shells all over the body. It's not really usable, but doing this makes sure that all your polygons are represented in the UV editor. Sometimes when you're modeling, those polygons will not be shown in the UV editor. So once you're finished modeling and your low poly is ready, you always have to make sure you do automatic UV so that they transfer into the UV editor. After you do that, you can go to Edge, select. You can select here or you can select inside your UV editor. And when you select all of it, you press so. And it took all the seams and it seamed them together. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create our own seams. Let's get started. I'm going to do loops around the arm. Let's go around the wrist. And to create a seam, you're going to want to cut it. So go to UV Toolkit, cut and sew, and you want to just press cut. So it'll create a seam just like you saw before. It's going to be white. And we're going to just keep going. We're going to want to cut the hands in half, do the top and bottom. So what I'm doing here is double clicking to select the whole poly loop. There's also a way to select partial poly loop, which I'll be showing to you towards the end of the hand. It's really a useful way to speed up your workflow. You don't want to be selecting one line at a time. So click one here and then go to the end and double click. The poly loop will usually stop when you hit something that's not a square. Like here it's 5 stars. If it's 5 stars or higher or 3 stars, it's not going to work. There we go. Do cut. So you get the hand now. You're going to want to do the arm also. So go into the armpit and double click. Let's see where it ends right here and double click. Cut. Let's move this to the side. Let's do the leg. Double click, double click. Seems to be good. And we're gonna cut right here also. There you go. Now we're gonna want to go down the leg and click all the way down to here. I believe, yeah, that's the one. Ooh, it did not do it correctly, so let's do it again. Click here and double. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong one, that's why. Alright, let's redo this. Click here, and double click. Okay, there we go. Let's turn off the graph, get a better view. Alright, so we're gonna want to go all the way around. Come here, gonna want to go up and start going around the toes just like we did with the hand before. Just double clicking it makes it so much faster. Click here, and there you go. Now just cut. And we got the leg, we got the arm. Now let's do the torso. Let's go with the neck. You want the neck, you want to try to hide the seam. If you have a t-shirt, make sure that it's under the t-shirt. And we can cut on the top of the shoulder also. There you go. Now let's do the head. We're gonna want to cut out the eyeball. And let's do the mouth. I'm gonna cut right here. Sometimes you might want to go deeper. You might want to go into here, but I'm just going to do it right here. And you're going to want to do the ear. Up. And keep going all the way around. And press cut. And now you're going to want to cut to the top of the head in the center. This will help reduce the distortion on the face, and it will also unfocus the sides of the head because most of the details and the pores are going to be on the face itself. Most of this area should be covered by hair. Okay. Now everything should be UV'd, I believe. Now let's right click UV shell and select all the UV shells, and you're going to click unfold. Now I flattened everything out, but nothing's fitting inside of the quadrant. What we want to do is we want to click layout. So go down to arrange and layout and click layout. So now everything fits in there, but if you look at the hands, the scale is incorrect. You're going to want to make sure that the scale is the same. To do that, we're going to go back up, go to transform, and we're just going to want to set to 143. It doesn't matter what number it is actually, just press set, and it's going to set it to a specific size. Now it made everything big again, but it made sure that all these sizes are all exactly the same. So now when you go to layout, it's going to shrink him exactly to the right same size also. Now if we zoom in, we can see that both of the hands are very similar size. Alright, now the UVs are laid out. What you want to do now is you would want to organize it, so optimize it the best as possible. You can use a side quadrant right here if you want to organize it that way. Control Shift right click and turn off symmetry so that it only selects one side. And you can just keep doing this until everything's organized the way you want it to. Now some of you are going to want to make the UVs symmetrical. For those of you who don't understand what I mean by that, you're going to want to make the textures on the left side of the mesh the same as the textures on the right side. This helps saves UV space and increases the resolution of your character when it comes to textures. To do that, I'll show you right after we finish organizing here. So you're going to want to pack it as close, not too close, close but not too close. Usually, depending on where you work, how big the textures are going to be, it can vary, but I usually try to go around 8 pixels away, or 4 to 8. Different studios are going to have different requirements, but you get the idea. You can keep doing this, and then eventually, when everything is on this side, you can select it, and you can come up here, and make sure the move is at 1, and all you gotta do is click this right arrow, and it'll bring it to the quadrant to the right, which is the correct one. Imagine that these were also fit inside correctly, but I'm not going to spend the time showing you how to organize it. It should be a pretty simple task. On the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make the UV symmetrical. This is a very popular thing to do in game art. It can help save resolution in the textures so that you have a smaller texture but with higher resolution. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and click the next video to finish up the next tutorial.